Welcome to RVing in New England, the nation's only forum that puts you on stage with some of the biggest names in the RV industry. And now your hosts, John DePietro and Bob Zagami.
We're here. We're just hiding behind the logo. Good evening, John.
We're hiding behind the logo. Yep. We're trying to get our last minute act together.
Actually,
you know what?
You look better behind the logo.
You're right. You're exactly right. But you know where I look even better is when I am at Seacoast RV. And we want to thank our friends, Kenny and Amanda, and all the crew, not just Kenny and Amanda, and the dogs. We got to thank the dogs, the black labs that hang around.
Oh, there's a new one. She got another one.
That's three now?
Yeah.
Three
or four. No, it's four.
Four.
So, yeah, I should have taken a picture when I was down there today.
Okay, next time you go over there, you get a picture.
One looks like a golden. Next week we'll do it. But to your point, Seacoast RVs, thank them very much. They signed on again, a repeat performance, joining us from now until January 31st. So they'll be with us through the big Boston show coming up in January. And we've added another number one accolade to them because for 11 years, they've been the number one crop park model dealer in the country. And in the very first year of Elevation Park Models delivering to dealers around the country, Seacoast RV is the number one elevation dealer also. So they are the number one park model dealer in the country in my book. And they were also voted best RV dealer in the 207 area code in Maine, which, amazingly, Maine still only has one zip code, but you can also find
area code.
Area code, yeah. The Winnebago motorhomes, and since they last sponsored, they have added the Winnebago towable product line. So they're building and growing.
Let's say something here. Yeah. Now, we know that for many, many, many years, they've been the number one crop dealer. Okay. Yep. And then they brought on another line because of the expansion. And now they become the number one dealer in the country for two lines. That's kind of remarkable. Because you'd think that some of the elevation business was siphoned some of the business away from crop. But evidently that's not the case. We give our customers, their customers, two options.
Options, and they haven't, they've met all their quotas, and again, they're the best in the country. In fact, when I visited with Amanda today, they sold 8 park models in the last 2 weeks. It wasn't a month ago they had something like 22 in stock, and I think she said she got 4 or 5 that are available now with the selection.
But let's be quite honest. The park models are probably not impacted by the swing in RV sales because they're more of a real estate product than a recreation product. You use them for recreation, but you don't tow them from one place to another. So they're really real estate. And
it's funny that you say that. It's funny that you say that, John, because park models through the month of June are the only category in the RV industry that is outselling what they did last year. Every other category is down, and some of them significantly on some of these categories from last year. park models are up, to your point. So, who we got tonight?
Yep. So we have, without question, Zagami, we don't say this enough. We do not take our viewers for granted.
Absolutely.
We have Mark and Julie from somewhere out west. We have Jim Conboy. We have Walter Swenson. Walter is on a roof. Walter, how are you doing this up on it? You must be watching on a phone.
He posted, maybe he's watching on the phone, but he posted a picture. He had a truckload of shingles and a truck. The guy, he's like an Energizer bunny. The guy, he cannot sit still. He has to do something.
Walter, are you still on the roof? Just comment down below if you're on the roof. Okay.
I haven't fallen off yet.
If the answer is yes, here's what I want you to do. I want you to just take a picture of you up on the roof and then send it to Zagami. rwzagami@gmail.com.
Oh, he's
rwzagami@gmail.com, and we'll put it on here because
he knows. Yeah.
That is a dedicated listener. That's number one. He's up on the roof. So he but
wait a minute. I just read the note. So he's on the roof of a motorhome.
Right. Cleaning and recalking.
But he doesn't own a motorhome.
That's his father's.
Oh, it's his father's. Okay.
Yeah.
I was talking about a picture he posted today of a pickup truck full of shingles for a roof. And I thought you meant that one with some timbers and stuff. So he must be doing projects for his dad.
Yep. That's what he said. Okay. So there's a side.
And Jim, boy, not to miss a sales opportunity.
Time to see me walk.
He already did Walter's fifth wheel before he sold it. And
he will next year, but not in the bank for this year. So he doesn't have any winter problems. Is it me or you?
Says,
what Mary saying?
Good evening, back on the Cape. And then he says, is it me or you? Is he having side conversations again?
I don't know. He could be hacking it up with Walter.
I don't see it.
with Walter.
And all right, so Mark and Julie. So I want to thank Mark and Julie, because I don't know if you're going to be able to see this, but that is an amazing bottle of Jack Daniels that was sitting on our doorstep here in Maine.
What the hell is that? A 55 gallon?
That is, no, it's the, how much is this? 750 milliliters. But this
what is that? Put that in American talk. Is that a gallon?
No, I don't know. No, it's not a gallon. But this is single barrel select. This is one of the premiums that you can get with Jack Daniels. But what is more important is, so you can see that you probably can't read it, but in honor of getting done with all of my treatments, it says, Bob, you embody Jack Daniels' spirit, making every day count. Cheers, Mark and Julie. Thank you very much, Mark and Julie. They wanted to make sure I didn't run out.
Okay, and that was the next thing on my agenda, to have you give an update. You've been back for a week?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is your second show since you've been back.
Yeah, week and a half. Yeah.
And you feel good.
Life as usual. You wouldn't even know. People can't tell. They see me and they must expect me to be sick or something. But no, everything is fine. No after effects. No problems.
You were ugly when you were ugly at the start, and you're still ugly. So
it actually made me better looking.
I don't know about that.
It did.
Yeah.
Everybody tells me I look great.
You need a stronger dose of something to make you look better.
Don't I look great? My wife is walking by. Don't I look great?
No.
She says no.
No.
I flunked.
And guess what? She said it without any hesitation.
He's right. She didn't have to think about it.
Okay, so Walter sent you that. So
and
while I take care of these notes, Bob, why don't you get Walter's picture? Okay. Geez, thought you were friends.
All right, you take care of the notes. Let me go out and catch Walter.
Glad to hear it, Bob, says Estelle. And Bob's opinion of red apple, considering it for a... Oh, okay. Okay, Bob's opinion of red apple. Wait a minute. Is that the one? That's the one up in...
Kennebunk.
Oh, Kennebunk. What's the one up in Burlington that they just went? Something apple?
Oh, that was in Burlington, Vermont. Apple Valley or Red Apple, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, Red Apple is the one in Maine. Okay, you're right. It's right off of just north of Wales, I believe, something like that. So, Apple Island. Oh, that's Apple Island. Okay, Red Apple, Apple Island. God. Anyway, so Zagami, did you find that picture yet? And
I
while
did.
you're doing that, I'm going to
I'm
tell our
gonna just
audience.
push a button and load it here in a minute.
You know, we're talking about all these places that we want to find out where people have gone so far this year.
Oh,
but there's somewhere that I'm going this weekend.
You look terrific.
May just change her mind. She's getting political.
Okay.
She was walking by me that way, and it was no. Then she got in the kitchen, probably thought, oh, that's not really nice. So now she come back this way and she says she changed her mind. So there.
Oh,
and you look fit.
And I look terrific. I agree. I do. All right, Walter Swenson. We said, Walter, show us what you got up there. So there's Walter and he is on the roof of the motorhome.
Yeah, Walter, you look great, but you look constipated.
He looks scared. I think he looks scared.
He looks constipated. Walter, you're right on the damn edge. What are you doing
that's right.
What are you doing on the edge?
Yeah.
Yeah. So now everybody knows what street you're on. They can come and.
Also, does that mean that Donna approved of him being up there, or maybe she's out shopping tonight, or went out with the girls? She probably doesn't.
Walter was watching.
He's at his father's house. She probably doesn't know. So Walter, if Donna is watching, you're in deep trouble. You should have.
No. He said he was watching the sunset.
And watching the sunset.
Yeah, she was out getting an inflatable raft for him to fall onto. So
I don't know.
So
those days are past. I'm not on those days anymore.
I found a new use for my motorhome.
You did?
Okay. We're adding 2 rooms to our house at the Cape. 2 bedrooms. And here's what we're doing.
You're going to make one of them a garage for the motorhome?
No, both of our daughters and their families are coming down this weekend. One daughter has a boat, and the other daughter is coming down to leech off of it. And they've got these giant inflatable rafts and all that other stuff. And the grandkids range in age from 13 to 5, almost 6. And they love going out on the boat and out on the raft. So it's a 3-bedroom house, and that's 8 people. So I decided to invite myself and my wife down. So I'll cook for them. But we're bringing the motorhome, and we're going to just keep it in the driveway. So we'll stay out there, and maybe 2 of the little kids will come out with us. So we've added 2 bedrooms by bringing 1 RV. I'm wondering if anybody else has done that, where they've needed extra space for people that were coming to their house and use their trailer.
Maybe Jerry would come over and help you cook.
Yeah. Well, Jerry's a big
bring the beers, unless he's traveling.
Yep. Chef Boyardee. Jerry says Chef Boyardee. In fact, Jerry,
he'll bring the Chef Boyardee. Yeah.
I'm going to BJ's Wholesale this afternoon, and I'm buying a case of Chef Boyardee, but I'm going to mix it up between beefaroni and SpaghettiOs. So we're going to give 3 choices to my family. Okay. And I would tell you this, even my grandkids would throw me out of the family if they saw me serving that.
Your brother would throw you out of the family if he saw you serving that. Your brother,
said,
Michael would never serve his family chef.
No, he wouldn't. He would. Michael has these pizza ovens, these wood-fired pizza ovens that I think Jason Cole saw that and went out and got one for himself. And I'll tell you this, now everybody has a griddle. Not just a grill, but a griddle.
Right.
And there's nothing nicer at a campground. Tell me, guys, if you agree with me on this. I think the greatest aroma at a campground is when you're taking an early morning walk, 7 or 8 a.m., and you got your coffee with you in your mug, and somebody down somebody down your row is cooking bacon outside. Would you agree with me? There we go. There, Julie got it. Bacon. Yep. The smell of bacon on the griddle
Who got it first? Julie?
Cool.
Oh yeah.
Well, you know what? It wasn't even a contest, but Julie agreed with me on the bacon. Agree with that. Hello from Butte, Montana. Jim Keen. What Jim Keen? It must be what 4 o'clock out
Jim
there.
and his wife, yeah. They've been traveling. They've been all over the place.
Jim Conboy said bacon on the Blackstone. The key thing is you got to tilt it just right so that the grease slides off the back and it doesn't pool into the front.
Yep.
And
we have to get Jim and his wife on the show. We'll have to do like we did with the Seidels. If Jim would slow down a little bit, maybe when he comes back into the States here, into the East Coast.
Is Jim Keenan one of your document imaging guys?
No, Jimmy he worked for Pete. He worked for McDonald's.
Oh, okay. Okay.
He's
okay.
Yeah.
He works part-time for
he still works. I think he still works the show. Are you going to work the show?
The show at Halo's Wish.
January? Jim, are you going to work the show in January? Speaking about the show, we put this up last week. We've changed dates on the show. The show is the 25th to the 28th. Now, I thought that was a mistake, and I was putting 26, 28 or something, but then I was talking to one of our sharp dealers, Ray Panzini, up at Cold Springs, and he says, Bob, are we opening the show on Thursday? And guess what? We're opening the show on Thursday. Thursday is going to be 4 to 8 on the 25th. Friday is 12 to 8. Saturday, 10 to 8. Sunday, 10 to 4. So we're not on Martin Luther King's weekend. We are on January 25th through the 28th. So mark your calendars, and I got some stuff going out on that soon. And,
okay, so call Kevin Horkey up and say, let's make that. I want to go back to Eddie Merlot. I don't know about you.
I'm way ahead of you, John. I sent a note to Horkey and said, because there's a chance we may take a half a haul that might be available, so we could have a haul and a half. And I suggested that he's going to be in competition for the Girl Camper Pavilion, but I suggested a Keystone, like a Keystone Village, where they put a lot of the different Keystone product lines under that one umbrella. Now, they still have to be nerve to dealers, and they could charge them back for the space that they have. But that's one of we've got a lot of things coming next year that are going to be different in the show. Yep. That was one of the things that I threw out to Kevin. So
one of the things that's not going to be different.
Jim says he's doing Hershey. Now, I assume he means he's going to work for Pete's down in Hershey, because Pete's has Pennsylvania dealerships, so he's got a big display down there. So correct me if I am wrong, Jim, but I think you mean you're going to be in the Pete's RV display. And our good friend Walt Burns from Easy Care. Hey, Z and John, have a griddle. Dealerships about done with new 22s, but looks like 2024s are coming out now, less than new 2023s. See you at the Boston show. You better see us before the Boston show, pal. If we have to wait to see you before the Boston show, you gotta take some of that marketing money that you got and sponsor some aspect of the Boston show. So we will talk before that. But it's gonna be a good one.
So Zagami,
what's Walter saying? Best sales guy at Pete's. He's talking about Jim. Jim was fantastic. Yep. Customers absolutely loved him. What I loved about him, he's low key, he's mild mannered, he's not hot, he's not a used car salesman. He just does it the right way. And as I thought, he is going to be selling for Pete's down at the show.
Yep.
And Fern
now,
says,
you haven't asked what my background is.
I know what your background is. It's Wisconsin Dells, some kind of water park.
Well, yeah, but this weekend, we are gathering at least 2 grandchildren, maybe more, and heading out to see the Kenny Rogers Band in Lancaster, Pennsylvania. And on the way through, we are going to stop in the Poconos, where there's another Kalahari resort.
Kalahari, yeah.
Any of you folks that have grandkids that are water park aficionados, I find that Kalahari, there's one in Sandusky, Ohio, there's one in Wisconsin Dells, There's one in the Poconos, and there's a brand new one in Texas. Take your kids to this, and they are just phenomenal. They're immaculately clean, well kept, and you can do a whole day there.
And there's plenty of campgrounds in Pennsylvania.
Oh,
Lancaster, Hershey area, all kinds of campgrounds.
Yep. Now, Zagame, I understand that today you were out and about in the great state of Maine. Do you want to tell us what you were doing out there?
I was out visiting some dealers, and I stopped up at Mercedes-Benz of Scarborough to see Brandy Lawler, and let's just let Brandy speak for herself.
And you just had
Brandy Lawler here, General Manager with Mercedes-Benz Airstream of Scarborough. I'm here with Max Vickery. We're here to introduce ourselves. We are the exclusive Airstream dealer for Southern Maine. Max, tell us about the inventory we have here that we've all been eagerly awaiting for.
So it's RV season, and we know that means we're all looking for RVs and such. Here at Mercedes-Benz Scarborough, we have Airstream coaches and we have base camp trailers. Right next to me, we have the Grand Tour Airstream. This is going to be your 24. This is the bigger of the coaches. It's not the biggest at the Atlas. We have our Grand Lounge right next to us. And then we also have an REI Edition base camp right down there as well. We have changing inventory. We have new vehicles coming in as always. So, yeah.
If we don't have what you want, we can order it for you and you can custom build it. Ask for Max or ask for Brandy and we're happy to help you.
What's the website and telephone number?
Mercedes-Benz of Scarborough, and the phone number is going to be 207-510-2284.
Super. Thanks very much, guys.
Thank you.
You know, they're not expanding, but they are doing the whole facade of the building over. So the sales office will be in some trailers, and they've actually gone down the street, almost across the street from Seacoast RV, just a little bit up, and they took one of the auto dealerships that were vacant down there. So they're moving a lot of their inventory down there during the sale, and then they can go up to Scarborough to finish up their paperwork. But you know, they went 3 years without having any Airstream inventory.
So let me tell you a story about them. My unit is a Sprinter chassis, and my wife and I were up in Old Orchard Beach. In fact, I remember specifically I was crossing the railroad tracks at Old Orchard Beach, right by the place that sells the good French fries, Pier Fries. And I noticed something just wasn't right. And, I thought, well, maybe it's just going over the tracks. Then I went up to the corner up there where the church is. And as I started, it made another sputter. And I said, so I drove right to Seacoast because it was 9:00 at night. And I said, I'll stay here at Seacoast. And in the morning, we'll see what we can do. And actually, it was a Saturday night, so the next day they weren't going to be open. But I had CoachNet, the towing service, and they towed it up to Mercedes-Benz of Scarborough. And I just got home somehow. And went up 2 days later, they said, it's all set. I said, what was wrong? They said, we couldn't find anything wrong. You must have had a stone or something that was in the tire or lodged in the brake, the front brake. And you know what? They did a complete examination, but never charged me a penny. Mm-hmm. And for that, I'm eternally grateful. And,
really nice people. Yep. Let's get caught up on tonight is fan night. What else do we have that we might be missing?
Well, you know what we want to ask? We want to ask our viewers, where have you been this summer?
Right.
Tell us where you've been. Tell us about your experience, and tell us it's a campground that you would recommend that others go to.
Also, in terms of how much trouble are they having with reservations, if any, and what are they paying? We don't need to know down to the penny, but are they finding the campgrounds much more expensive, a little more expensive, or about the same? Because when you go out onto the web, there's so many different opinions out there, and you just don't know who to believe. But we know we can believe our fans. But I'm curious about New England. If you're camping in New England, and participating with our private campgrounds and state parks here. How are you being treated? How is the pricing? And are you really having a difficult time at all? Speaking about campgrounds,
Well,
why don't we? Because you did an interview with Spacious Skies and our good friend Ali Rasmussen. Why don't we? While you guys pummel us with answers, I want to see John's visit to Spacious Skies Minuteman up on 495, the closest.
Before you press that button, let's just set the stage for where Minuteman is. It's now part of the Spacious Skies organization, and it's one of, outside of maybe Normandy Farms, it might be the closest campground that you can get if you want to see Boston, but it's certainly the closest one if you want to see the battlefields of Lexington and Concord and that type of thing, because it's right off Route 2 and 15, not even 15 miles from Lexington and Concord. So we have a lot of people that visit there that are people that are from the other parts of the country that want to see New England and see the famous New England landmarks, which ironically the New Englanders don't even see because it's right in our backyard.
Right, too close.
So I was there one day and talked to the manager, and this is what he had to say. Hey, everybody, we are not in Boston, but we are as close to Boston as you're going to get if you want first-class camping. And we're with Trey. We are at Spacious Skies Minuteman. We're in Littleton, Massachusetts. Just a convenient ride from the city of Boston and all the attractions on the North Shore. Trey, welcome to your campground.
Yeah, glad to have you here. We just finished up a little lap around, got to show you all the grounds. We have a sunny, beautiful day here in Littleton.
Yep. Yeah, it's beautiful. And you know what? Anywhere in New England this time of year is kind of special. And people from all over the world want to camp and go to Boston, but the reality is there's no campgrounds right outside of Boston because of the density of the population. But you come up to Littleton, I mean, there's an interstate highway, 495, we're right off. Route 2, we're right off of. Tell us about the park. How many sites and how big can you accommodate units?
Yeah, so we have 95 sites and then 7 cabins. 6 of those cabins are single rooms. One of them is a double room cabin. In terms of accommodations, we can accommodate all different types of vehicles. We'll see anything from a 12-foot pop-up trailer to a 42-foot toy hauler. So we have all sorts of sites. We're in the process of putting in a lot more 50 amp sites right now.
Okay.
But we have mixtures of 30 amps with just electric and water, all the way through 50 amp full hookup sites.
And you got a beautiful pool that's right here if people are staying on site for the day. And I saw the playground as well.
Oh yeah, pool and playground are a big hit. You should have seen it yesterday on Saturday. They are always jumping.
I can imagine. Now, the other thing I noticed when we took our walk through is that this is not just a wide open field where you get a parking space. I mean, you really get your own little niche where you've got trees and you've got boundaries between you and the neighbors.
Oh yeah, it's such a special location here. You feel it as soon as you pull up the driveway. It feels like our own private little pine forest. Even though we're so close to Boston and so close to the interstates, as soon as you enter the grounds, it feels like you're miles away from everything in our own little paradise.
Great. So it is Spacious Skies Minuteman. Trey, we want to thank you so much.
All right, thank you for coming today.
Well, that looks like you are right in the middle of the woods, and it's a good old rustic campground with modern amenities.
Yep. Very nice. Very convenient. You know, and here's the thing. We love going to Maine. But if there's a time where you got only a day or two to get out of the regular routine, why not stay in Massachusetts?
Yeah.
Save 2 hours. Save 2 hours. And I'll tell you, I'm sure that anybody who's been to Maine or New Hampshire this summer has thought, just like I did, that Fridays begin on Wednesdays now because the traffic on 495 and 95 has been insane. And it's not construction. It's just heavy traffic. And I'm seeing more and more RVs traversing that. Bob, you probably saw that yesterday when you were driving back to Maine.
Plenty of RVs, yep. And
Yep.
the campgrounds are, from what I can tell, the campgrounds are very full. When I was down visiting with Amanda today. Their store was absolutely packed. They do an incredible business. They probably have the largest parts and accessory store in Maine, and it was packed.
They do. And like I said before, they have propane.
Yep.
And the thing is, you don't have to be a contortionist. You don't have to back down a little alley to get propane. You pull right up to the tank and it's there. They come out and do it all for you. The other thing I like about them is they're friendly people. Now, you didn't get to experience the kettle corn that I did when I was up there for the open house. But I'll tell you, Kenny.
I chastised Kenny for not saving me some. I did make it known that I like kettle corn. And I'm sure if that was Mark and Julie doing the cooking, they would have saved me a bag of kettle corn.
Yep. And you like kettle corn, and the area dentists like kettle corn as well, because it's always good to have a chipped tooth replaced, or a filling, anything like that. Yeah. But they're friendly, they're polite, they're great people, and they're locally owned, and that is cool. And that is what we have to say about that.
Let me we're at the halfway mark, so let's do our halfway commercial. It wasn't intended as a commercial, but the way it worked out,
I just did.
I think I'll play it every week at the halfway mark.
All right, I am with Amanda Blow, who is now coming back as the major sponsor on RVing in New England. Amanda, how you doing today?
Hi, Bob. I'm great today. Very excited to chat with you.
Yeah, how about, this is your second stint as a sponsor. Tell us why sponsoring RVing in New England is important to Seacoast RVs.
We really love sponsoring RVing in New England because we get to introduce so many new people to what we have to offer here at Seacoast RV, from park models to motorhomes to all the travel trailers, our service center. We're very fortunate to have a great staff that's more like family than anything. A lot of women in our office, which I think is really great in this industry. So it's just exciting to be able to introduce ourselves.
And you're not a stranger to it. You've been here quite a few years now since you have owned the company.
Yes.
But the dealership has actually been here since 1996.
That's correct, yes. And I've been here for almost 10 of those years.
Yeah. 1996 was the first year I started writing and consulting in the RV industry.
Well, look at that. It's like we were meant to be.
Tell us some of the products that you got while I scan the other side here.
Sure. So we offer a wide range of units here. So we have park models from both prep and elevation, along with new motorhomes from Winnebago and new towables from Winnebago. We're really excited to be offering all of this for everyone here.
Talk about the importance of park models. I know that's your specialty. You're one of the largest park model dealers in the country for prep and for elevation.
Yes.
You've got a tremendous background in there, but tell us about park models, who buys them, and why they like destination camping.
Sure. So park models are a wonderful thing. They're great for people who know where they want to be. If you're a seasonal somewhere, it's very turnkey. There's no real maintenance. You get to just go in and open up your home away from home, and people love that.
Super. So if this is their first time meeting you and Seacoast RV, give them the credentials, the telephone, the website, and what have you.
Sure. So we're Seacoast RV. We're on Route 1 in Saco, Maine. Our phone number is 207-282-3511, and you can see us at seacoastrv.com.
And ask for Amanda Blow or Brittany or Kendra or any of the team up here at Seacoast RV. Thanks again for sponsoring the program, Amanda.
Thanks, Bob.
Pretty cool. They're so nice.
They are.
They're so nice. So, Bob, when we went, before we went on break, we asked people, before we went on that Minuteman thing, we said to our viewers to send in where you've been and about reservations. So if you go back to 7/26, you'll see Jerry. No problem with reservations. Apple Island is pricing themselves out of the market, $105 a night. Now, I wonder if that's still dynamic pricing, or they figured the tide rose last year and they're just keeping the prices up.
Well, Jerry makes a good point. It's that pricing themselves out of the market at 105 is the $100 mark the watermark where campers start to get concerned. And you got to be respectful of the campgrounds in terms of their amenities and what they have to offer. But I'm sure we can find campgrounds that are $105 a night that are okay and average, and then you probably got some resorts that don't want to price themselves out of the market, so they'd be in the same thing. So that's a great opening question, Jerry, or statement, because I'm really curious as to what they're seeing.
Yep.
Mr. Swenson says Old Orchard Beach Campground, about 15% increase over last year at $125 a night in August, and very limited sites available. So we threw in the towel for this year to sell the camper early. So
Now that's interesting.
That's a beautiful campground. It's right down the street from where I'm at. Very large. It's not on the water. I mean, you still got it. They got the pools and everything, but you got about a mile, probably good mile before you get down to Old Orchard Beach. And
But it didn't impress Walter and Donna enough to not sell their unit.
Well, exactly. So he decided to sell it this year, but he's going to buy a motorhome next year. But he said he does have a busy work schedule, and he wasn't getting the amount of time that he would like to get out into the campground. Estelle says, haven't done much camping this year. Hubby had a knee replacement, but we are headed to Charlotte, North Carolina in October for 10 days. Can't wait. Reservations are all made.
It'll still be summertime in Charlotte.
Yeah. Are there you going to any NASCAR races down there, Estelle? I don't know when the next Charlotte
I don't know if they have any more then.
At Charlotte. I'm not sure, but that's a nice area and good area to travel around with. But I'll bet Charlotte, Myrtle Beach. I'll bet those aren't cheap. Have you been to Myrtle Beach lately, John?
Yep. We were there back in February, and they were well over $100, $120, $130. Now, keep in mind, that was a resort. So that was one that, see, now Jerry says he just had a muddy parking spot in a pool. At Myrtle Beach, if you're off the beach, they have to keep you there because the reality is most people want to go to the water. But the one that I'm talking about, man, they just changed the name. It's a Sun Outdoors Resort, but you do not have to. Once you park your motorhome or your camper, back it in, you don't have to leave. They have restaurants, they have entertainment, they have pools, they have a full water park right there.
Is that Carolina Pines?
Carolina Pines. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. That's the old name. So
Mr. Conboy says, I have a seasonal site at State Line Campground. Seasonals was at Charlie Brown, Ginny B's, and Normandy Farms during the season. We'll be at Normandy Farm for Halo's Wish and then back to State Line Campground. Where is State Line Campground? I'm not familiar with that.
It's probably on the state line.
Probably, yeah. Could be on the state line. That's very logical. What are they typically getting down there for their transient sites? Because you're seasonal, Jim, but what on a typical transient sites? And Julie and Mark say, sorry, dropped off for a minute. Been in Colorado this summer. Blue Mesa RV Resort and Keebler Connor, two of our favorites. No trouble getting a site. Those are those also in Colorado? I know you're living in Colorado, Julie, but are those campgrounds in Colorado? Is that what that is?
Let me answer. Julie asked me a question earlier. How are you enjoying your new RV this summer? Well, the reality is, Julie, that was just a test drive that we had for a couple of weeks. Loved it. Same size as ours, same as yours, 24 feet. But it's back at Dynamax, and they're taking some of the recommendations that we made to them. And that was the prototype. So it was the only one ever built. So we had a few recommendations for them. And
Jerry's talking about Apple up in Vermont. I saw some pictures that Frank and Jason had posted from there.
Yeah, I don't see Palange on here tonight. I don't hear Palange or Cole or Cavosa or whatever, but
so Estelle says yes, we are. It's the Royal
Roval.
Oh, the Roval. Oh, that wow, that's good. Now, do you know what a Roval is, John?
I do.
Oh,
because it's a road course around.
It's part road course and part oval. They race a little bit on the regular track, and then they jump off and do a little bit of the road course activity. It's a very interesting race. Yeah,
they drive through the parking lots there too, so you have to watch out.
Oh, so she must be. She's paying $650 for the week with full hookups.
And that's not bad.
No,
That's
not
bad
on
at all.
race
If
weekends.
you're right at the track, you're right at the track. What about Ocean Lakes? Oh, no, Jerry, it wasn't Ocean Lakes. We've stayed at Ocean Lakes. Love it there. This was Carolina Pines up in Conway, about 20 miles from there.
And Julie says we really enjoyed our stay at HHMCR last
February.
Got any
As
idea
well.
what HHMCR is?
Nope. It looks like a disease.
Oh, I don't know.
Yep.
I don't
Jerry's in Rhode Island. I don't know what that means. Both in Colorado. Yep.
Well,
Rhode Island. Jerry, what's that mean? Rhode
let's
Island.
talk about where the state line is. Yeah. And then
Oh. Rhode Island state line. Oh,
Yes,
that could
but-
be because Jim is down in that area.
yeah, that could be the
Are
road.
located East Killingly, Connecticut, on the Connecticut-Rhode Island border. Okay, so that's a quiet area. Blue Mesa is 1,000 Trails Campground. Oh, okay.
Right, Rhode Island, Connecticut.
I'm
border.
reading ahead.
Blue Mesa is 1,000 Trails campground, and then a private campground.
Hidden gem. How much? 60-ish a night. That's not bad at all.
Yeah. Thanks, John. I'm sure your feedback was very helpful. Yeah, they always like it when we take something and give them on, because they know, because John and I have been around the block a few times. They know we will tell them honestly. We have thick skin, number one, and nobody can hurt us, number two. So we tell it exactly like it in a nice way. But when they got it right, we tell them it's wrong. We tell them that so that when it does get out into production, there's less problems for the consumers that buy them. That was a reply to Jerry Hilton Head Island Motor
Coach Resort.
Beautiful resort. Beautiful.
Oh, okay.
I'll bet they're pretty expensive on their transients down there. They may not, in the height of the season down there, they may not even take overnights. $60 a night on state line. That's good, given what else we're hearing.
Yep.
Best way to be. Tell them straight. Absolutely. I know you guys do the same thing. Hey, one thing, I want to switch topics a little bit because the hour is quickly passing. We've had a lot of communication, obviously, with companies in the industry, and we had a lot of interaction with too. John, why don't you pick up the conversation here with some of the things that we've done, but also the responsiveness of these folks.
Both of them we've had on the show when we were out at the Keystone plant in June. I don't know, June.
Yeah.
What were we out there for? Oh, we're out there for the power breakfast.
Yeah, May. Yep.
We spent pretty much a whole day at the Keystone facility. And if you look closely, you can see this phrase called Camp Better. And what Keystone has done is put together a group of people that own Keystone properties. And they have a whole thing with planet, community, and knowledge, I think was the other, helping people out. Helping other people out. They don't have to be other Keystone people, but you know what? There's so many. We saw that also, Bob, with Grand Design, where they have people that just go around and help out, like the flags of the folds of honor, type thing. And then there's people that are in the Keystone group that just go around and they follow natural disasters and then set up a Habitat for Humanity program with them and rebuild stuff. So that's pretty cool. And then the Lippert people are doing the same thing with their products. And I think Jerry's a scout or somebody on this. Maybe I think Walter
was a scout. We had Nicole on last time. And if you notice on both of them, you've got apps. Most companies are going to apps. I would be curious to know how many RV company apps you have downloaded on your phone. I suspect that Walter and Jerry might have them all. Yeah. But do you only download the one for the particular brand? Because a really good app, and both of these are exceptional, has information about just about everything: recipes, camping, service, manuals online, scheduling service. You name it, you've got it. You can do everything there. And we live and die by our apps these days. But how much has it infiltrated the campers? And for Walter and Jerry, when you're out there, do you get into conversations with people about these various apps? So I'd be curious. Look at this.
Walter has too many.
Check Julie.
Julie has none.
Zero. That surprises me, Julie. Especially with Mark likes to tinker with this stuff and do a lot of his own repairs. You like to do refurbishing. That's the shocker of the night.
Hey, one thing we want to tell our people that this Friday, when the next the Camper Report show comes out, there's a full feature on Camp Better that we did when we were out there, so you can see it all there. And you know what? Maybe look at this is such a good group of people that it wouldn't surprise me if they enjoyed being part of these groups. So
Julie's backtracking now. She's trying to save face. She said, "Do you mean
well, you know what, Julie? Yes, manufacturing brands, but like with Keystone, Forest River has the Frog Group, but
Lippert's a supplier, but either a supplier app.
Lipper cuts across every brand.
You might have a Fusion app. You might have some other. You might have a Dometic. I think Dometic has an outdoor app with all of their products. I think Truma. Yeah, I know. On my Truma cooler refrigerator, my refrigerator freezer on Truma, there's an app for that, and I can control that sitting under the tree with a beer or Jack Daniels.
Now, where is that? Where is that right now?
The refrigerator freezer?
Yeah,
it's in the back of my car.
Oh, you haven't taken it out yet?
No, we emptied it out. But we didn't bring a lot up here, but we brought a lot of stuff that we had in the refrigerator that we didn't want to go bad while we were gone. And then when we go back, we'll load up whatever we got in the freezer here. But it's phenomenal. They
do sell butter in Maine, so you didn't have to bring butter back with you.
I don't think we did.
Butter or mayonnaise or pickle.
We didn't bring mustard. No, we didn't bring mustard and relish and ketchup because May was having hot dogs the other night, and I was cooking them on the grill and said, "Oh, before you cook, would you go down the store and get some mustard and ketchup and relish? Get some onions, get some corn on the cob." Hey, I don't know about you guys, but the corn on the cob in Florida is fantastic year round.
It's going amazingly pricey. No,
5 for $2.
You know what?
In Old Orchard.
Depends on the store. I mean, I've seen it 89 cents an ear.
Well, stop shopping at Whole Foods and
No, I don't shop at Whole Foods. Whole Paycheck, whatever. Togo, a bunch of camping apps, of course. Discount Fuel, RV Trader, and there we go. I have Integra app. Okay, even though we never owned one. Oh my God. So
who's got this one?
I don't know what the hell. I don't know what that is.
The hell is Victron? I have no idea, Julie.
I don't know. And you know what, folks? Walter will tell you the RV Life app has stuff on it. It's not just when you're traveling, but if you want to find out about a campground. Now, we're going down to Amish country. Anybody have a campground that they would suggest there? And we'll be right around not a Lancaster, over more like that city that Zagami tried to get me to say a couple years ago that I won't say on the air.
Intercourse?
Somewhere around there.
Somewhere around it, just down the street from Intercourse. Yes.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Now are you gonna go to the bakery in Shipshawana? What's the restaurant we go to in Shipshawana?
Yeah, the only problem is the only thing is I'll be in Pennsylvania.
Oh, that's right. That's Indiana. Well, I'm
too far. We did stop. We stopped at that blue gate or blue door or whatever it is.
Yeah. Blue something. It is blue.
Yeah. Not behind the green door. That's a whole different thing. But that blue door restaurant, blue gate, something like that. But we had the buffet. It was so good. We had that on the way back from Wisconsin.
See, we lit a fire under Julie. Now she's really, backtracking. Yep. I stand corrected. Now I am going through my RV apps folder. We do have Keystone and Truma. You don't have Lippert with all the components that Lippert has on RVs, as Nicole Salt talked to us last week about.
Yeah. Hey, let me bring up another thing. I did an interview for the Camp Report show the other night for another couple, and they travel all over the Southeast. And I said, how about Buc-ee's? And they said, we hate Buc-ee's. Now, how about you guys, our fans that are watching this show tonight? What's your take on Buc-ee's? I love the place, and Zagami didn't even stop, or if he stopped, he didn't get the barbecue turkey.
No, I stopped and got gas. No, I did. No, one time we did stop. I forget which. I didn't get the brisket. I got some other sandwich. I think May got a chicken club or something. But
chicken club.
Yeah, it's good.
Get that southern stuff with
it. And they're building them bigger and bigger each time. Now I understand they're building the world's largest. I think it's Texas.
Texas, yeah.
Yeah, that they're building. Now Jerry's got the joke for the evening. You know what a buccaneer is? Too much to pay for corn. Get it, John? Buck and ear. $1 an ear. Jerry,
where do you see that?
That's sad. Well, right down there. I got his thing on the screen. Buccaneer. That's a sad one, Jerry. If you tell those in the campground, somebody's going to beat you up.
Oh, there we go. I see that.
Yeah,
I see that. Thanks, Jerry. I stand corrected. Now I'm going to use all my RVM. We do have Keystone and Truma. Walter Victron solar controller.
Oh, inverter and solar charge controller goes with our Battle and lithium batteries. Yeah.
Let me ask you guys. We got enough technical people here, and this is I do not know the answer to this question. What is the difference?
You don't know the answer to most questions.
I know. That's why they're questions. What is the difference between an inverter and a converter or an inverter? What is the difference? It's not a trick question. I honestly don't know. So we only have a few minutes left.
Well,
so
Jerry will probably be the first to answer that.
Cool visit. A bit overrated, but we got our favorite wine there for $13 a bottle. Well, Christ, you pay a lot for wine, Julie.
Inverter DC to AC.
Okay.
So, but can't you convert DC to AC? I'm as bad as John.
I just want to plug it in. I don't care where it's coming from.
Yeah. Convert. Well, now wait a minute.
I don't know. I
inverter.
Jerry. You're
DC,
talking to two dummies here.
In a converter from AC. Oh, the converter works back asswards. It goes from AC to DC. The inverter goes DC to AC.
Look, I just want to plug something in, like a what do you call it? A coffee maker.
Yeah. Now let's see what the engineer has to say. Now I want to show you again. Here's Jerry. Very simple. Converted AC to DC. One charges. Okay, Don says one charges 120 to 12. That's too complicated. But Mr. Swenson says converter, 12-volt supply and charges battery. Inverter converts 12-volt direct current to 120 alternating current, I think. And sometimes an inverter can do both invert and convert. Well, now I'm really confused. So they can do this, or they can do that, or they can do this and that.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Now, Jason Cole, I'm glad to see Jason Cole here because in the last month, we have seen Jason twice on the highway. Once we were up in at Loudon, New Hampshire, in the pouring rain by the NASCAR race. I believe we had just stayed there that night. And in the morning, we're going to get coffee, and a car stops behind us. And my wife is outside the motorhome, and it was Jason and Lisa, and they were going up to Apple something or other, Apple Island. And then last Thursday morning, I'm on the Mass Pike at 7 a.m. coming back from Saratoga. We had stayed at the rest area there on the Mass Pike because I had seen 3 deer in 10 miles. And I said, I I'm not going any further with those deer out there. And Jason recognized our motorhome, and the phone rings, and it's somebody says, "Hey, were you just going? Are you on the Mass Turnpike right now?" I'm saying, "Is it the police?" Because I didn't have them down in my thing.
Well, speaking about Jason and Walter and the Northeast Region Camping Charity, I got a bulletin posting. I'm going to be posting something up there this week. They're almost sold out of the rally at Normandy Farms on the 16th to 17th. So if you want to go as a consumer and participate in their fundraiser that weekend, we'll get you some more information on that. We'll post it up on that site.
Or, Bob, let me throw this in because we only got 4 minutes. If you support the Halo's Wish mission, but you live in another part of the country, or you live in New England, but you can't go there for that particular time, you can send a donation, a check. I don't know, Walter, can you do credit cards yet?
I think he did last year.
Yeah, I don't know. But Jason, give me an address where we can send that stuff while we still have people on.
It's on the website. It's on the nrcc.org.
Okay, haloswish.org. Okay.
Haloswish.org. Okay.
These people, this RV community are the nicest, sharing, caringest group of people that you're going to meet anywhere. And I can say that we've personally benefited from their generosity. When my granddaughter was one of the recipients a few years ago, she still talks about it.
And she's 13 now?
She's 13.
Wow.
Yep.
God.
Yep.
Hey.
Just like Abby. Is Abby 13 now, Walter, or 12 or 13? But you know what? RVers are such a nice group of people. And I don't think the industry does enough to let others know what RVers do for fellow RVers and for the community at large.
But we
recognize us.
Well,
okay.
then, Mr.
Okay.
Roy,
Gary's giving me math.
We've got a minute or two left, Mr. Roy, so I want you to go immediately to the Facebook page and watch the replay of it. But also, I got good news for you, Jason. I was with Mercedes-Benz of Scarborough this morning. You may not have seen the video. And I convinced Brandy that she should show the Airstream motorhomes at your dealer display. Our nerve to dealers support NRCC, and they actually are moving us down to the ball field area, so there's a larger area. And because inventories are up and prices are down, I think we're going to have a much larger. I'm optimistic that we might be able to double the size of the RV display. You know, Pete's is always there. Brad Moore is always there. Jim Convoy always supports us down there. He's there with that. We're going to have a good RV display down there this year, and they open the display. It's not open to the public. We do it for NRCC, but Normandy Farms is nice enough to advertise it and promote it and let us tell everybody else at the campground. So there's 450 sites of people who will go up and see the RVs.
But so let me just clarify that, Bob, because I want to make it look like if you're not part of NRCC, you can't go to it. All of the people that are camping at Normandy Farms that weekend have access to look at these. Some even come over for the ice cream social.
Oh, really?
My personal favorite is that vanilla ice cream with the chocolate sauce. I will admit to always having two.
What's Julie saying? Airstream motorhomes. Yeah, the Class B motorhomes. The Grand Touring and the Touring coaches, Class B, and maybe even the base camp trailer. And Airstream did announce a collaboration with REI this week, and Brandy has 3 of them in stock. So it's an REI edition. We hope to have that at the Boston show also. It's going to be a big show this year because they need to get rid of that inventory. Don says,
you know what? At 7 o'clock, we looked and said, oops, we got to get going. And now an hour has gone by. It's 8 o'clock.
And we got to get going.
We got to get going.
Another good show, guys, to Don. Coming to Maine for the weekend on August 18, 19, 20. All right, let's grab a beer or a cup of coffee, depending upon what you and Pat want to do. I'm in Old Orchard, depending upon where you go. Just let me know, Don. And RV Love, wonder if they ever make a Class A
Airstream.
again. I don't think so. The biggest thing is the Atlas, which is a Class C that they have up and above their Class B. It's a good unit. It's also a little pricey, but $225 or $250 on the list price. All right, folks.
Okay,
Thank
everybody.
you all. Good to see
Thank you so much.
Have a great weekend.
See you
Thanks,
next week, everybody.
We will see you next week.
Thank you for watching.
And somewhere here is a closing video. Oh, yeah, there it is.
This edition of RVing in New England was a presentation of the New England RV Dealers Association. Thanks for watching, and be sure to like us on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram.